on Tuesday morning. That's Tuesday, April 8th. Actually, yesterday morning, it seems like such a long time ago. We woke up to the tragic news that a disco, a very famous locale here in Santo Domingo, Jet Set Disco, the roof had collapsed. And today we really are gonna talk about the news that has been coming out of this unfortunate incident. Now, even before we get into it, just want to express my sincere condolences to all the people who have lost loved ones. Even though we're just at the 9th, the death toll continues to rise. And what is significant is entire family members, 5 people from one family in one instance, were confirmed deceased. It's a tragedy, a proper tragedy. And so flags will be flown at half-mast from yesterday, the 8th of April, today, the 9th of April, to the 10th, 3 days of mourning. There's so many things surrounding this event and so many bits of information coming out. Now, for me, I am sharing this update simply from information that has been coming out, because to be honest, I did not even know the Jet Set Disco. I'm not a disco person, right? So I wouldn't know it. But one of the things that shook me was just on Sunday, I was on Independence Avenue. And it's a little coincidences that tend to leave you saying, oh my, look at that. But there's so many things to talk about. One of the things is the fact that this was labeled an iconic disco. It's been around 50 years plus, and it's been a staple in Santo Domingo, known from far and wide. People come for events, and this was actually a merengue concert that was going on. And it's so interesting to me as I see the lineup of names, persons who have been confirmed deceased, people who occupied positions of importance, people who were known. There was one particular lady who called the president of the DR at 12:49, the report says, and told him that the roof had collapsed, they were trapped, and that she was injured. Further reports are now saying that she has succumbed to her injury. Tragic, extremely tragic. Although I began this video during the days of mourning, I had to step back and take my time in putting it together, because this video is not intended to be a report of what happened. It's deeper than that. And as I got familiar with so many things, the area, the culture, the value that Jet Set has in the lives of people in Santo Domingo and the DR in general, I knew that being in a rush to put this out was just not the way to go. So as we grow, as we go through this presentation, it might take a few twists and turns, because in all honesty, I have been on a journey, particularly learning about this established merengue singer, soaking in his interviews, getting to know him as a person,
becoming fascinated with a career that has spanned over 40 years. But I wanted us to understand the depth of the tragedy by sharing an article that appeared in the Dominican today. And it was really gripping because the association that is the umbrella for nightclubs in Santo Domingo or in the Dominican Republic, they have decided to close for 3 days nationwide. They're called the Dominican Republic's Nightclub Owners Association. They want to suspend operation for all establishments throughout the country in observation of 3 nights of mourning or 3 days of mourning for the collapse of the Jet Set nightclub. Junior Gonzalez, who is its president, issued that statement at the Ministry of Interior and Police. He has urged all business operators in the industry to suspend their activities for 3 days of national mourning declared after the incident. Now, I'm thinking that this would have corresponded with the 3 days of national mourning that we have just exited, which would have been the 8th, 9th, and the 10th. But the article goes on to say that the 52-year-old Jet Set nightclub, whose roof collapsed in the early morning of Tuesday, held a very special place in the Dominican capital. It had become a cultural institution, a stage for renowned artists and celebrated acts, and the location was particularly popular for its Monday night parties, and that usually extended from the weekend festivities. Its famous Dancing Mondays had become a mandatory gathering for the enthusiasts of merengue, salsa, and live music. Typically, it was during one of these very Monday night events in the early hours of Tuesday that the roof suddenly collapsed. The devastating incident has claimed many fatalities. Now, when this article had been written, the fatalities were low. Now they are in excess of 218 souls, with many, many more still injured. And the toll, unfortunately, continues to rise. Now, there are so many names of prominence that found themselves there. Was a gathering place for business leaders, for baseball people, baseball aficionados, baseball players, government officials, leaders of finance. The banking sector has lost a few persons. So many names, the names are being called. The videos that we will seek to just have run with just a bit of background music, they're intended as a memorial. And so, as we observe this period of mourning, we do not want to sensationalize this production. Instead, we want to give thanks for the lives, full lives that were lived. I learned so much about Ruddy Perez. Never heard of him before. And as I dove into his life, his music, I know I will have to do a video just on him. And it's in this tragedy that sometimes great knowledge is shared. And so, as we continue to talk about this, I would just want you to know that the Dominican Republic is open for business. Unlike my client who was set to come in June for his 10th anniversary, No, the country has not shut down. Life continues to march on, albeit a little sadder. People are still busy doing what needs to be done to move on. Many persons have been touched by the tragedy, have lost friends and loved ones, neighbors, gym partners, and so on. But we must support and we must move on. So this is where we are right now, and without closing this video as an end to what is being said, just want to take a look at the mournful images as we make a commitment to continue being our brother's keeper. This is Sheri. Ciao for now.